Here, I'll share my screen so you can see it. Is this the game?
Um,
5, 3, and 10 one, right?
that's it.
Alright. So first things first, let me just check your OPG real fast. Figure out what rank this is. Okay, 55% win rate, Kayn, plat 4, nice. Gold and silver, gold, plat, okay. So let's see, you're going Kayn, Conqueror, Red Kayn into Renekton, Echo, Aurelion Soul, Twitch, Yumi. Okay, that's definitely a game you can go red. You can definitely go blue as well. I mean, it just depends on your preference. I feel like either form is good. So I mean, I think if you're playing to win, red is definitely the smarter option here for sure. So that's good that you did that. Okay, so pathing. Okay, let me turn off this music. Um, Typically the way that I would want to path this game is bot to top, which I'm sure you're gonna do. Just because I feel like playing towards ganking. Ganking the top lane could be very dicey because it's Garen versus Renekton, but they both have Ignite, so there's a
Yeah.
decent potential that one of them would die early. So I think when you path for top, I think the main thing you're looking for this game is to get your CS advantage on the Echo and just be very vocal with where he is because Echo is what I find to be a very free matchup unless he gets like a couple free kills early on. He's an extremely free matchup because you just hard outscale him as Red King, right?
Yeah,
So
completely agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
this game, honestly, I just wanted a path to top. I thought bot was just going to be a snooze fest, and it kind of ended up being that way.
yeah.
Um, Getting mid accelerated too would have been nice, but I think top is the matchup. Whatever like side laner is capable of beating the other one kind of decides the game.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely feel that. And I mean, Garen as a champion is just, I mean, he's always going to be impactful. He takes very little skill to play. So if he has an advantage, he could just punish that extremely easy. So I agree with that. So you're going to start bot side, do the full clear. Did you?
No, I will be real. My clear and my mechanics are pretty bad. This is the first game I've played in like a week.
It's fine. I mean, the more you clear, the more you get used to it. And if you feel like you can work on it, you could always go to practice tool. Like that last game I played, I did a
Yeah.
3-13 full clear, no leash. So even if you don't get a leash, sometimes it's good to do it. Just making sure to do little tactics, queuing into walls, killing it with autos here. Yeah, see, how look again. Okay, so let's check the QCDs. Right here, yeah, I think killing with autos is smart, but yeah, just when you dragged it out of the bush, kind of slowed it down a little bit. Other than that, it was the right thing. Kill with autos there, and then just E, immediately Q. Some people like to auto Q. I think if you immediately Q, your ECD time will be linked up with your Q time, so you can get the final kill on the baby Krugs as your E is coming up. Typically, that's what I like to do. Because I mean, usually you do auto Q before everything, but I think just for this one camp, you do it. Because look, your E is at 3 seconds and your Q is at 4. Like a second off, so okay, like instant. Yeah, just get more comfortable with doing that. Because typically when you're done with Krugs, it should be at 210. So if you ever do practice that, good. Another thing to go back over, I know I'm kind of like fixating over the clear, is this is like one of the jungle basics right here. In top lane, you see that Renekton's already here. Bot lane's they're not there, so that means that they're starting bot. This would be a good like time to start pinging out. Okay, Echo,
Yeah.
he's starting bot side, and then you know that's a basic indicator that he's going to be pathing up. So I think the main times for different junglers, there's different times to ping, but the main time to ping for Echo would be by the time you're done with the Raptors, typically he'd be done with his Wolves, so I'd ping Wolves at that point, because just in case he does 3-camp gank, which could happen mid, could happen bot. This game, I don't think it's going to happen because of the wave state, but just in case, just getting the hang of it. And then after, I'd say, like, by the time you're on this, I'd ping around here, because he's not a full clear jungler typically, so after red, that's when he'd look for a gank, right? And if you know he's pathing up towards you, there's two things you'd be cautious of, is if he goes for early ganks or if he goes to cheese you in your top side here, because if he's pathing up, typically that's like an indicator that you know they want to cheese you. Because I think a lot of Canes do the blue Grom same time, so it's a very vulnerable state for Kayn. So just always be cautious if you're doing that. Be too cautious. Okay, just doing Raptors. Yeah, so just pinging on the map, something as simple as that, because it's sometimes hard to communicate with every team. Most teammates are kind of papega. Pinging, they would usually like pay some attention to, especially if you spam it. Okay, so farming blue. I think you can farm blue Gromp, yeah, a little bit faster than that. I said, with pathing though, I mean, there's videos, there's practice tool, there's a lot of ways you can get comfortable with it. So doing that, I think would help you a lot because the faster you clear, the faster the camps reset, the faster you can clear it again. It just becomes like a very rapid cycle. On a good cycle, I think is very important. So Echo, he hasn't shown on the map yet. I mean, I'd be very worried about the top Skittle because he is a champion that probably beat you in a 1v1, and his top laner has prio. It's a hard shove. Mid laner, I don't really know who can move faster. Reliant Soul or Cat. It really depends, I guess, on who's better. Oh, I would be very nervous walking for this Scuttle. Oh yeah, there's Echo. Once you see that he's low and then Renekton's low, good
Honestly,
idea to back
that there was kind of just me egoing him.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel confident, I think if you can outplay it, you can beat Echo 1v1. It's a little bit hard. It's not impossible, but I mean, if you're confident, I think that's a really good thing to be. Just careful with some junglers like Lee Sin and stuff. So you get the reset, pickaxe, nice. Oh, you went blue smite this game. Is there any reason you went blue smite instead of red? Just to stay on soul?
Yeah, honestly, to stay on the Aurelion Soul and the Twitch, and just like for like if I need to just quickly ult someone if I get like blown up or bursted.
Okay, okay. That's fine. If you feel more comfortable with doing that, I know a lot of K-mains. I don't think it matters too much having the extra damage reduction, but I definitely think for Red Kayn, it's once you get comfortable with it, it feels really good. But there's definitely like first 2 years of Red Kayn, I think I only used Blue Smite on him, so I don't blame you. It feels really nice, especially because it pretty much just lines up your W for free. So Echo stayed on the map, got the bot gank, Aurelion Soul. Oh wow, you actually cleaned up a kill here. You cleaned up a kill in the overstay. Twitch is there, they're shoving the wave. It's a pretty big wave. And the cannon's almost dead, so that wave isn't gonna hold. So I would just take the entire wave, to be honest. Right here. Not like immediately because they can maybe kill you. I wouldn't be too worried about them though. Is there okay, good, you take the entire wave. Perfect. Exactly what I want to see. Wow, you're really huge off that play because Echo doesn't have a reset yet. You clear all your camps faster, so he has to reset and then go clear his camps again. Right now, it's kind of a difficult time to tell because all of his camps are going to be up, so you don't really know where he's going to be, but you kind of have an idea because you know his camps spawn bot and then they start spawning up top in that order. So it would not be a bad idea to look for something a little bit aggressive when you have an XP advantage because you get level 6 early. You can either force a gank. I wouldn't say top. Renekton's one of those champions you cannot gank unless you have an ignite when he's post 6. So look for the gank top. Maybe mid, honestly. Get a good angle, like go Krug's Raptors and then maybe go to his Raptors. I think that'd be like a pretty aggressive angle if you're looking to play aggro. Because the timer for him to reset and then farm his bot side. By that time, I think he would be at his Gromp by the time you're moving towards his Raptors. So he'd go like Gromp, Wolves, you'd be done with Raptors, and then maybe get a ward down, or maybe you force the gank mid. Catching him off with timings, because I mean, I think you had a way better early setup. You got the reset, you got the kill, you're faster on the map, and you're able to impact more because he was pretty much forced to stay on the map super long to get any benefit, which means that he has to waste a lot of time in between camp spawns when typically you want to be killing your camps as they spawn most of the time. Aurelion Soul goes bot. Kind of a pickle of a game because your bot lane's getting just hard shafted. There's not really much you could do, but in these games where it's like this, I think it's just important to just keep an advantage on yourself. Right here, yeah, this gank. I don't know if it would work out, to be honest, because Renekton level 6 is scary. We'll see. Ooh, maybe. Katarina's coming, that's good. Stalling it out for Katarina, nice. Yeah, you definitely want to play that as cautious as you can. It's actually really big, wow, that's huge for you guys, because you got his ult down, you got his flash. And this is pretty much just an indicator. Once you see his ult and flasher down, you can just gank this guy on repeat. You just always like farm all your camps up and just keep going up. Like, you don't even need to pay attention to another lane at this point. Because you and Garen are going to build such an advantage off each other, and you're going to get your form pretty easily. Okay, you're prioritizing the mid CS because there's the... Okay, wow, that was really good. Got the mid CS, then you get this... Okay, okay. That's what I love to see. Right there. Then you get the Scuttle. Comp. After, and then probably reset, farm bot side into top, hopefully again. Giving up Dragon early kind of seems like something you might have to do, but just because of how long it's taking them to do it, it's not as punishing as you think because I think you
Yeah,
could
I
have farmed
don't
Gromp
think
there.
Echo has learned that his bot
Yeah.
lane's ahead.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Right here, a bit of an overstay, looking for
Yeah, this here I shouldn't have
invade.
canceled that recall. I
Yeah,
felt bad about it in game.
yeah. Anything, I mean, you could have maybe just done Gromp, but I think just you need to set your sights on what is like a guarantee. Once his ult and flash is down, this is like guaranteed ganks over and over on this guy. It is very, very easy with Garen damage, because now his Ignite's up, his ult's up. Your ult is probably going to be up by the time you're done with all your camps, so it's just like incredibly free. And if he doesn't have his ult, you don't lose the 2v2 either. And just the red orbs itself, building up that gold lead and the XP lead and then getting your form, it's just huge. So I would just set my sights on that right here. This is a good counter gank. This could stop the Aurelion Soul right here. Perfect. Katarina goes in.
Yeah, this here was just a communication from me to my team.
Yeah. I think you had the right idea. I think I'm just gonna micromanage you a little bit. I think with the way that we played this, let's see. From start to finish. There's definitely a way you could have won this, but
Yeah, I agree.
just getting a little bit
The
more
fight was definitely in our favor, but
yeah, it was. So this is good. Everything's great up until this point. Echo's W zones off. You have Flash coming up, I believe. Oh, you have it. You have it. So I think right here, you can maybe Flash auto Q Twitch. Just kill him. Right there, you only hit one thing of your Q, right? So if you Flash auto Q him, you kill him right there. And then you also want to eat the Echo ult, and you probably would be able to ult the Aurelion Soul. So you'd kill one, get Triumph heal. You'd have your Conqueror stacked up a little bit, and maybe be able to do enough damage to kill Aurelion Soul. But I think just playing a lot more confident, because you're, like I said, you're pretty ahead. These items definitely stronger than last one, Hex Tech. So I mean, definitely is something that would have helped. But I think regardless of that play, it is still a very winnable game, just because Red Kayn does do extremely well in their team, because they don't really have like any real way to kill you unless Twitch stays alive. But Aaron, Katarina, I don't see how Twitch would stay alive this game, because if it comes to a fight with you versus Renekton, Echo, Aurelion Soul, Yuumi, you could probably 1v4 once you get like 3 items. But typically, like I said, I mean, that was a good play to go for. It kind of sucks when you fall behind like that, but after that, I mean, I would just go back to what your initial plan was, which was just pathing top, so farm. I don't know why you skipped on Krugs there, unless you just want to be impacting the map more, but typically you only do that if you're really ahead. So I would have just farmed Krugs, red, Raptors, went up top, go up Dragon, that's fine, and then look for the top dive again. He would probably maybe have ult at that point. Looks like I could see the CD on the screen, but I'm pretty sure he used it because he was fighting Garen. So if Garen pinged it out, oh yeah, he did actually ping it out. He did ping it out. Okay, yeah, so this is like a perfect indicator. Top. Not knowing where Echo is, you don't know if he's going top side or bot side, so I'd be more focused on killing the Scuttle on spawn first and looking for the wraparound on Renekton instead of farming these camps. Just a little bit, playing a little bit more high tempo, because yeah, you could have got the Scuttle right there, denied it from him, and then he would have just backed off. But I think being a little bit late on that. Now you have to play like very small amounts of vision. You have to play in a very like tight corridor, I feel like. Yeah, because now you have the ward here, you have this here. So the only way you can get a gank top is if you go like all the way around and wrap fully around, which would be a real pain. So yeah, you got to make sure that you're securing things before. These camps, typically, unless you're really behind, they're free, right? But this is like a contested camp. His camps are contested camps, so you always prioritize his camps or this neutral camp over it. And the thing is with Echo, if you're in the river, there's no way they can like jump on you and kill you, because you know there's easy escapes. So definitely just securing that and then backing off, because then you'd have the vision control. You'd be able to look, you know, in this angle where you can like kind of wrap this way. Then setting yourself up for the most successful gank right here. I think that was out of vision, but yeah, your E would be down when you're approaching, and typically you want to have your E up so you can approach from this wall. If you approach long like this, kind of makes it hard to do because you don't get your W off in the right area. So yeah, I think playing a little bit more up on this guy. I mean, even if he is 2-0, he can't really like solo kill you yet. I don't think he'll be able to solo kill you for a long time. Actually, he'd have to get really ahead. But let's see. Right now, looking at wave states is very important. So just like, okay, this big wave is built up, shoving. If you do want to try and turn the tide of this wave, and you feel like it would be impossible, I mean, you do have the Sona ult now. So when Sona is post 6, it is gankable. But I guess you just have to be cautious. Okay, where's Echo? You saw him top side. You know, cleared his top side camp, so he's probably going to be around bot. So there's two things you could do. You can either counter gank this, or you could just ping them, be safe, and look elsewhere. If you look elsewhere, I mean, I think ganking Katarina is a little bit difficult because you don't have any CC. I mean, you have your W, but Brilliant Soul will just bop you away. Playing on his flash timer, if you ever do want to camp this champion and like fuck him over, I think if they don't have flash, you need to keep track of that and just understand like, okay, whenever this person's flash is down, you could just pretty much gank him whenever, even if you don't have the CC, because you do have the damage. Katarina does do damage with Ignite and you, and as long as you get your smite, W ult on him, got 1 Q, he's probably dead. So if you want to like transition the lead and advantage into Katarina, that'd be good. If you want to play the counter gank, or if you think you win the 3v3, or if you want to, you know, just tell him be safe, that's smart. And then top, I mean, top, there hasn't been much success here, and now that he's getting his ult back up, his flash back up, makes it really hard to force because he could stall out for so long. I don't know if he can straight up win the 1v2. I mean, some Renekton's can, but he could definitely stall out for an extremely long time, and when you don't win the 2v2, that's like a very terrifying thing. Right here, you saw Echo around top side. Now you're looking for, I assume, to be the bot gank. Okay, perfect. Good. They died a little bit too early. Yeah, that sucks. Really bad when they die like that. There's not really much to say, because I've had that happen to me, and it's pretty frustrating. You get the kill here. Oh, that's huge. I get both. Yumi. That's pretty funny.
That whole fight, I thought she was kiting to Echo. I thought Echo ran down, and I was like, I was duoed with my support. I was like, Echo is about to come here and kill us, and he just didn't show up. So I guess he didn't care.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think that was the right move, 100% there. Being scared of the Echo. I would be, the way that she was pathing scared me even. But glad that you stayed on top of her and killed her. Sometimes they do bait, and you read that good. That was really good. This game is a Kayn v9. You're on top of the world right now. Your team's hoping for you to pop off. Got blue form first. Yeah, I think this would be an angle to go purple Kayn if you felt like. The reason why purple Kayn works in these scenarios. Wait, let's see what happens here. Have a pointless fight, but you get a 1-for-1 shutdown. That's huge, actually. That's really good. Katarina gets the gold. Okay, slowing their Renekton. Good. Someone's got to catch the wave, Garen. You get the top side. 3-1-2. Yeah, the issue with purple Kayn, not a lot of people are super comfortable with it. The issue is that it requires a lot of like, you're giving up a lot of your team fights, so you have to be making a lot of plays on the map, so it requires a very high tempo gameplay. So normally, I mean, I wouldn't recommend, but if you did want to go it, it's perfect for these scenarios, because think about it, with your team being this behind and you're like the only like pretty much chance of your team winning, waiting that extra 3-4 minutes is kind of a real pain. That's kind of why I started doing it in the first place. And you weren't really given an option to get your red form because the only success you found was bot, which I think is smart. So I think definitely going red is a smart, safe option. But just saying, there is a possibility if you feel like you need to go like get your form because the game might not last that long, you could go blue and just build with red Kayn items, which does work. It has a lot of strengths, but there's a little bit of weaknesses. Your team fight's a little bit weaker, so you have to be a lot more mobile, a little bit more agile as well. Good. Okay, so you see Aurelion Sol, see Twitch. I think with the way that they play, whenever you see Aurelion Sol, he completely just ignores the fact that there's vision, so setting up a counter gank would be amazing. Definitely think your team is strong enough here to win a 4v4. It just needs to be a little bit more like low focus. Katarina's showing is pretty scary. Aw, Jinx getting cut out there is so tragic for you guys. Right here you get the red. Yeah, that's exactly what I would have done too. Farm the red and just come down. Because I think they were just completely out of position.
When I see the tower that low and there's 4 people down there, like I just told my support to back off the tower and I'm not going to go down there and kill myself for it.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the smart play. Give up the dragon. So giving this, I hope to see topside invade and topside tower. It looks like you're going for it immediately. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, looking for this would be great. This would get you your form too. See how this goes. Ah, look at that damage. So hard to do anything to that guy. So tanky. Nice. Perfect. Rugs, get the red. I want to take more than 2 camps here. Ooh. Yeah, Brilliant Soul is out of position. Aaron could have baited that, I feel like. But
We're like afraid of tower diving here for some reason.
yeah, I could see that.
We go in afterwards.
That was very awkward. That could have went well, but I think it was once your team got the flash, they should have backed up. But I mean, overall, things are going great for you. You're picking up a lot of gold. Now you have your red form because you got so many red orbs off Connectin. So I think right now, so you get the tower. Your team loves to overstay and die. Jesus. Okay, you got the form. Your top side. Sona almost gets caught out. Twitch has no ult though, that's good. Keep in mind. Farm your top side camps. Definitely get in the habit of like farming very fast, like farming both these at the same time. Save you a little bit of time. Especially when you need a 1v9, you need to make sure you're doing everything like really rapid and making sure that you're picking up shutdown kills and gold. So I think definitely at this point, the way that you come back and win a game when you have 3 losing lanes, doing what you're doing right now is great. Farming a lot, getting a lot of XP, and then when you get your big reset, you have to just look for shutdown bounty or free kills. So Renekton, because he doesn't have his sums and ult is down for a little bit, he's a free kill. So you want to look for those, pick those up, and you want to look for the shutdown bounties. So using shutdown bounties, that's usually where you trade either your sums or your ult to get. And the free kills, I mean, usually you just wait with your team, and then you know, Garen sets it up, or Katarina sets it up, Jinx sets it up, whoever is there, you know, you just do that. Right here, using a reset. Could have maybe farmed Krugs too if you wanted to get a little bit of extra gold XP. Farm everything. Get your form. You're going Death Stance this game. Itemization definitely does help carry too, and I think this is a good game to go Death Stance. It's very aggressive. We have an 0-10 bot lane, so let's see. The fight here. Oh, that was close. Nice. 2 kills. I mean, went on your 80 carry, so it's kind of scuffed, but not awful. Okay. This fight's kind of all over the place. W's could use a little bit of work, but I'm sure, you know, mechanics. The more you play, the more comfortable you get. Like that's the most important thing. I think most important thing, which I'll go over this because I think this is something that could be taught as long as well with comfort, is if you don't feel the most confident with mechanics, I think it's mostly just like rolling out like where they can go. So Twitch, he's in tower aggro, so he either has option to step back, which there's you, or he has the option to step up. So this is typically how you would tell where to shoot your skill shots, is he only really has one place to go, would be up. So this is, would want to shoot your skill shot. You could have potentially hit the Yuumi out there too if you W'd immediately. That would have been a bit of a game changer. So just entering in with W would be perfect. If you auto Q Core Drinker, you get the 2 kills. Maybe you would have been able to get Renekton as well. You would have been able to kill Yuumi there as well. That would have been 3 kills. And right here, Brilliant Soul's playing pretty aggro. Player's trapped. Sucks that she died. Right there. Another thing is, yeah, with the Yuumi, when she does all that, when she hops out and hops back in, you always got to make sure that you're aiming your skill shot towards the person that she's going to hop into. So she's right there, so aiming it towards Echo, the most ideal. Plus maybe you thought she was going to go to Brilliant Soul, but then you just aim it at Soul. That one, I mean, you just sidestepped it, and there's nothing really more you could do. I feel like you could play that a lot more aggressive right there in that exact spot, because Aurelion Soul's mana's down. I mean, they use a lot. Echo just used his ult as well. I think this is the play to make this is the time to make an aggressive play. I definitely would look to get over this wall and look to just jump on top of Aurelion Soul and Echo. If you stick on top of them, I'm sure you can get 3 kills, because with your ult, using it at the proper times, you definitely could force that fight. I think just getting a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident with Red Kayn in team fights, because you're a team fight demon, and right now you did everything to set yourself up properly to have like a lot of gold, a lot of leverage. So if you're able to transition that into these little skirmishes, especially with your ult, I mean, with your ult up, you can do so much. So much. And then you get in the top CS. It's good. Rift spawning soon. Because you don't have tier 1 towers and you need objective bounty, I think prioritizing getting the Rift would be very important, especially since you see Aurelion Sol bot lane. This would be a great time to just look to do Rift, or maybe if you reset earlier, did Rift. Because when you're behind, you need to make sure that you're understanding, okay, we're going to give a lot of things. Like, let's say you give the fight, you didn't exactly get everything you wanted, but you get the objective bounty on spawn. And then let's say they go to the dragon, and you're not confident that you win the fight in the dragon, then you get top tower. And then, you know, that's 2 objective bounties, and top tower give you, like, what, 650 gold? You get solo gold on it, so that pretty much buys you an entire item. All the components you already have would be insane. Just doing things like that to put an extra bit of leverage on you. Whenever, you know, things are, you know, your team isn't doing the best, so you got to make sure that you can just find as much gold and as much resources as you can to put it all on yourself. Which you're doing in the lanes, which is perfect. Just getting more confident with doing it on objectives and trying to transition that into... Sometimes it's good to force fights, like right there, because you knew they were top side because of the Rift and whatnot. Not have been bad to look in the bot side here for a fight and just try and see if you can deny blue buff from Aurelion Sol. Did eventually with your team, but a lot of times you can be the one to lead because you're very tanky, and like I said, Kayn's extremely good at escaping out of the jungle. Using your ult before the dragon, secure a kill. I mean, securing a kill is good, but
there I thought he was gonna flash. It was just kind of a miscommunication between me and Garen. Garen just ulted and I ulted at the same time.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's not a bad thing, but just with the dragon, I think.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure that it's... Because let's say he does flash and he lives, he's out of the fight for the dragon. So I think just using what you have to secure it is the most important thing. Because this fight, win or lose, what you're aiming for is to get the dragon to stall the game out longer. Because the longer the game goes on, the more of a monster your champ turns into. So let's say they get, you know, soul point, the next dragon, you're kind of at a timer where they could split the dragon soul and the baron, which is really bad. It's a lot of pressure being applied. So this is why sometimes, you know, just making sure that you save things for making sure that everything is like used in this fight. Like even there, I probably would have even tried dying just to get the dragon, just because it'll stall out the game for like another 5 minutes. And that's typically what you want to do is Red Kayn. You want to make sure if your team's not doing the best, stall it out till you get enough items, and then when you get enough items, you probably try and 1v5 carry, because at a certain point, their team is going to get like full build before your team gets full build, and you're going to be like the only one who's ahead, and you're going to have like 5 people full build just absolutely destroying you in every different way. And another thing I'd like to say is that if you're fighting their Jung and mid a lot, which I think you have been, you've been very aggressive with them, typically when they have an AP Jung and mid, I would look to just rush Hex Drinker, because that gives you a lot of extra strength. That could help you win the 2v2 with Katarina. That in itself, like even early on, like just go Gourd Drinker into Hex Drinker, like straight up. Don't even have to finish it for Maw. You could just get it early on, sit on it, build that extra leverage, and then you could be a lot more aggressive on top of the Echo, a lot more aggressive on top of the Soul. You wouldn't be as strong in the fights against Renekton, Twitch, and Yuumi, but you'd just be aiming to fight, you know, towards mid and jungle area. Right there too, like yeah, you could have fought him, I think, because you're 2-level lead on him. You don't know who's there.
I just realized his team was kind of sitting up there.
Yeah, but the thing is with Red Kayn, it's kind of good to have someone to stack up your Conquer on. So let's say, a lot of times people go a lot, like they're very overconfident. They think they could fight you no matter what because their team's behind. But if their team's not there immediately damaging you, pressuring you, I mean, you're playing Kayn. You can get out of situations very easily. But also, you can like, you could stack up your Conquer and you could start doing a lot of damage to him. Could have forced his ult out. You could have, because he used everything he had to get in there. The only thing he had up was his Q coming up. His E, his W, everything was down. Right there, that's good. See, right there, I would still look to fight. That's good. Looking very aggressive. Nice. Perfect. That was a good fight. I think the thing is, I'll mention it. Wow, this went really well for your team. Jesus. I think in terms of who is the most useful in a team fight, I mentioned this earlier, I think right there, you'd ideally want to look to aim Twitch instead of Aurelion Sol. I think staying on top of Sol is good, but I definitely feel like Twitch has the highest consistent damage output. Aurelion Sol's mostly about his setup, and then, you know, he's more of a utility champion, you know, with the Rylai's, he's just slowing, and Everfrost, he's just snaring. So, yeah, I would think focusing Twitch there with your ult and everything would have been the move, killing him faster, because then they don't have as much damage in the fight. And then once their damage runs out, then no one's going to be able to kill you. Like, with enough Qs and Ws and Gore Drinkers, no one's going to be able to kill you. Right here. I think a lot of these times...
somehow goes crazy. I remember this.
Does it? Oh, man. Yeah. I think this right here, when he walks up like this is where usually you want to lead him with your W. W, auto, Q. If you let him with W, I think he just dies immediately. So this is why being a little bit more comfortable with these CC is very important. Because right here, you had a really good flank on him. This was really good, getting this E behind him. Because most of the time, they're not paying attention to this orb in the wall. A lot of people, even in the highest ranks, they're not paying attention to the orb in the wall. So he's not really going to be expecting the knock-up to come because, you know, he's got his eyes set over here. A lot of people, like, he's not paying attention to everything around. He's just paying attention to this too. So if you can get this EW and then auto Q Gore Drinker, you do a lot of damage. Your team would just kill him straight up. Leading him like that. Because then once he sees you run at him, then he reacts immediately, right?
Yeah.
So just making sure, because you had the right idea 100%. That was a really good setup right behind him, but just got to lead him with the W next time. Okay, and then just farm, building that lead, building that advantage. Okay, let's see your itemization. Even now, I'd probably still get like at least Hex Drinker into Cleaver if I'm gonna get HP, because it is kind of nice to get HP when you have Death Stance, stacking up HP, because you only have like 2k. So if you wanted more damage, more sustain, Cleaver would be nice. It's Cleaver with the Gore Drinker and the Death Stance, a lot of abilities. But if you felt like you were getting absolutely destroyed by Echo and Soul, so Maw, felt like you just needed a little bit of, just because think about it, if you get a Hex Drinker, you can just jump on Echo whenever, fight him whenever, he can't do anything. His full combo will do like 20% of your damage. Same with, or 20% of your HP. Same with Aurelion Soul. Like them together, if you buy Hex Drinker, would do like basically 0 damage to you. Like, it would just be doing nothing. They'd be healing you practically. As opposed for Twitch, I mean, I feel like the Death Stance, Plate Soulcap, Score Drinker, that'll hold Twitch off for like 3-4 items. Like usually that's fine enough. Don't need more. Usually you just get Cleaver for, you know, more damage, more HP to synergize. Right there, a little bit of an early ult. Until you're about to get CC'd, I don't think you need an ult there.
Yeah, I also just think I don't need to really fight here. I mean, like, if I hit my W on Twitch, yeah, maybe, but I don't see anyone else and the Drake's coming up. It's just a little bit like of an ego play. I'm out of position.
Yeah, I think it could be good if there's like a zoning tool. Like, okay, you zone the Twitch, and then maybe you can like cut off the Renekton. You can go with your team, but I mean, if you're just trying to like stall it out so your team doesn't die here, it could be a good play. And like you said, if you hit your W, honestly, if you had Executioner for the Yuumi, which is a lot of gold, oh wow, big combo. If you had Executioner, you maybe could have went in and killed that, but you just have to make sure that the fights you're taking, you have to have the proper itemization to actually, you know, follow through with it. So let's say you wanted to kill Twitch and Yuumi, let's say you didn't think Katarina or Garen were doing their job well enough, then you'd aim towards the Executioner, and you'd be playing a little bit more aggressive on top of him. Let's say you want to be more aggressive towards the Echo and Aurelion Soul, where you could just jump on them whenever and, you know, fight them, bully them. Then you want to build the Hex Drinker into the Maw. And if you just want to make sure that you're shredding the front line like Renekton, or there's just too much sustain on the enemy team, that's when you go like Cleaver Executioner. So I think the itemization would definitely help you out. I think a lot of the things you're looking for isn't bad. It's just the execution needs a little bit more practice, which, I mean, you know, that's the fun part about League, you know? Getting better, playing more, getting more confident, getting more comfortable. So that part could be worked on 100%. But to say about, you know, pretty much anyone. Even my mechanics and my team fighting, sometimes they get a little bit too hectic. Yeah, losing the Dragon Soul. Typically, I mean, you were dealt a really bad hand. A lot of your decision making was great early on, but, you know, your team just dropped the ball a lot. So this isn't a standard game for Kayn. I think if you played this way consistently, you'd easily climb Diamond. But if you want to shoot to be higher than Diamond, then yeah, definitely the team fighting and the mechanics and the just getting more comfortable, more confident, I think would just be perfect. You definitely climb a lot, I could see, with this gameplay. I see, look at that fight. See, look, Echo, he did nothing to you there. And then Flame Soul, if you were doing this earlier, this type of fighting, look, you have the Conqueror stacked, you're fighting. If the others went to fight you, Twitch and Yumi, I guarantee you'd kill them here. I guarantee, because you have the Conqueror fully stacked in the Gore Drinker. Like, this, if you were doing this type of fighting, like, this was perfect. If you can transition this into a lot of the fights, just knowing, okay, maybe I have the item advantage, maybe I have the XP advantage, maybe we have the numbers advantage, maybe, you know, this champion's stronger than that champion. Like, if Cat was ahead of Soul, you can always look to fight. Those type of things, the more comfortable, the more confident, like I keep saying it, those are the most important things, but your mindset as a jungler is extremely good for winning games, like splitting, getting towers, getting the waves that no one else is getting. That is, like, extremely well advanced in solo queue. So, like I said, if you played like this, like, consistently, like, let's say you played like this, like, 20 games, I guarantee you'd win probably like 70% of them. And that's
this is how
insane.
most of my losses go, where I like have a lead early game,
Yeah.
whether it's like levels, XP, or items, and
Yeah.
I just play like a pacifist style game, and then
Yeah.
go, wow, why did I lose?
Yeah, exactly. Just like I said, just sometimes, you know, it's kind of, people think it's trolling, but sometimes, you know, limit testing it's not a bad thing, you know, just going in, like, seeing how many you can kill and fight, because I mean, right there, you just confidently 1v2'd people that have as much gold as you know, that's 2 people on the enemy team. But just understanding, like, certain items, certain champions, like Renekton, his damage doesn't scale. You can fight him easily. Like I said, right now, with this itemization, you can easily 1v4 him, I'm confident. And if you struggled in team fights to do damage, like I said, Executioner, you 100% need, 100%. Against Yumi, support champions, they heal way too much. Like right here even, I feel like you'd be able to 1v4 this if you have an Executioner. Because they're all really low, and think about if they weren't healing so much. No, I mean, this is really, like, really good stuff. I think just a little bit of the itemization needs to be worked on, and just being more aggressive, like you said, yeah, that'd be great. I'm not kidding you, like I said though, if you played like a couple games a day, like maybe 5 games a day, I could definitely see you getting diamond easy. Like this. Alright, well, was there any other questions? Did I miss anything? I didn't cover.
You know, honestly, I think that's it. Been extremely helpful.
Alright, well, thank you so much. Thank you for the game and letting me do this. It was a fun time.
Alright, and thank you.
Alright, peace.
Alright, have a good one.